Hi, so this video is looking at section B of Losing My Religion. So what I'm going to do is I'll break down bar by bar and then we'll shove it all back together. So the rhythm that you've got is sort of unusual. It's a standard rock groove as your snare and bass pattern. It is on your hi-hat. However, anytime you play your snare drum, we've got to hit the high tom as well. So your right hand's going to move from your hats to your tom, like this. So that's what we have to be doing basically throughout this whole thing. So I know I said a breakdown bar by bar, but there's not much point. You basically are going to play that rhythm 8 times through. Okay, that takes you to the bottom of the page and the first bar of page 2. Okay, on the first bar of those 8, on the very first one, there's a crash at the beginning. But the next 7, we don't do the crash. And the way that crash works is you're going from here to here to here. So your right hand will be doing crash, hats, tom. Okay, so you're going to play that groove 8 times through. The first one has a crash on it. That takes you to the very first bar of page 2. Okay, we're going to stop there and then I'll explain what we do after that. So here's section B, down to the bottom of page 1 to the first bar of page 2. Okay? Okay, now, as you'll see, there's a number 1 above that bar we just stopped at, okay, and then the next bar has number 2, okay, that means first time bar, second time bar. Now, what does that actually mean altogether? All that means is, you can see at the end of the bar there, okay, the end of the first bar at the top of page 2 has 2 dots and a thick black line. If you go all the way back to the beginning of section A, you've got the same thing, section B, sorry, you've got the same thing. That is telling you that we're repeating everything within those dots. Okay, so when you get to the end of that bar that we just stopped at, with the number 1 on it, we're going to go back to the beginning of B. We're going to play all of that again. However, this time, once we're at the bottom of the page, we're going to go up to the top of the next page, but don't play number 1, you're playing bar number 2. Okay, so all I'm going to do in this aspect is I'm going to go over bar number 2, and then we'll go back to the actual beginning of part B and play the whole thing. So part B all the way down to the end of page 1, play bar number 1, go back to part B, play all the way down again, and then go to part 2. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, basically the number 2 bar is the same as what we've just done, right? But we're stopping after the 2 bass drums. So what we've done is this. But what we're going to do is, we're not going to play that second snare drum. We're going to stop after the 2 bass drums. Okay? And then what we're actually going to do is, we're going from our high tom to our snare to our floor. So when you put that together, that's all it is. Okay, that is bar number 2 at the top of page 2. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning of part B. Remember, there's 8 bars. First one starts with a crash. Then you're going to do all of that again. However, you're only going to do 7 bars because the 8th one is that one with the refill that we've just done there. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the beginning of B, play the whole thing. Here we go. bar number 2. And that's part B. Okay, so relatively straightforward. Okay, but yeah, all we're doing at the end of that one is we're stopping after the 2 bass drums, tom, snare, tom. Okay, hopefully this helps with practice. You can pair it together with the other video that's looking at section A, if you were that far, and there might be a video in section C, I don't know, but if you're that far, you can have a look at that as well. Anyway, have a look at this, hope it helps with practice. See you next lesson. Ta-ta.